We just need a win, right? Simple.
Yes.
Better.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
Better, you hit it from Russ Mitchell.
Win or go home tonight.
Exactly.
Certainly.
Ooh, okay, well listen, oftentimes when we're resetting, it involves taking a chance without really knowing all the answers, which can be scary.
That's how it was for Susan Oguche. She's now the Executive VP and Chief Communications Officer for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, she had an impressive job with Nike, and then she went through some really turbulent times personally. So in the latest installment of The Reset, I spoke with her about how she knew to grab the chance that was in front of her this time.
It was, in some ways, kind of blind faith. Last year, one of my sort of mantras was, I'm betting on me. And it was coming out of a year where I had a lot of sort of personal tragedy. My father passed away. I was pregnant with my youngest, and I had a really, really rough pregnancy.
With all that change, she decided to be open to exploring.
And it was just in this season of like, okay, if I'm betting on me, like, where does that take me? And I had a recruiter actually reach out for this role, and I, didn't have the typical background that someone had. But the more I learned about the team, the more I learned about the culture and what they were building here. It went from like, oh, that could be interesting, to like, I really want this. Like, I feel like I can make an impact.
So I know your daughter is 6 and you've got a 1-year-old as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the pressure as a mom and a breadwinner to balance those, especially when you're considering a move, because it's not as though you moved from Michigan.
I felt a lot of pressure because this isn't our first move as a family. We moved from Chicago to Portland, which was another, very, very far move. And Chicago was a place where we had really deep roots.
But fortunately, they were coming home to some deep roots as well.
It was the opportunity to come back to Ohio, where I grew up, and just remember having such a wonderful upbringing that I took for granted. Was just such a beautifully protected, safe way to grow up. And I wanted that for my kids. But I also feel like in a lot of ways it's like a process of me sort of coming back in alignment with like what I value.
But Susan admits that when we move, we don't move away from ourselves. And she candidly talks about the anxiety that follows her.
It's something that I have kind of dealt with my whole life. So I remember sort of my process with anxiety, not knowing there was a name for it, but just being in college and just feeling like my chest was closing up. And I was like, what is this thing that's happening to me? One thing that I've been able to do, and I think it came to bear in this instance as well, is I kind of have gone from thinking of it as this like horrible affliction to also kind of thinking about it as like a superpower and trying to listen to what that's telling me. If I'm anxious about something, is it because I don't have the right information? Is it because maybe my gut's telling me it's the wrong decision and I need to pay attention to that?
That weight pressed down on her as she tried to decide. Was she going to become part of the Cavalier family?
For this situation, it was, people call it imposter syndrome, but it was just me like, can I do this? Am I willing to put in like the personal sacrifice that's required? I'm moving my kid in the middle of the school year. Like, does this make me a bad parent to be doing this?
Okay, I want to ask you something, because I know that what you just said, people are going to connect with.
Yeah.
When you say you were able to find answers, how did you find your answer?
For me, like, prayer was a big part of it. Being in alignment with my husband, like, this was not a decision we took lightly. We both had a lot of time for prayer and reflection. I'm a work in progress, right?
We all are.
If I say I'm betting on me this year, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna bet on myself. I'm gonna bet on my family's ability to be flexible and to adapt. I'm gonna bet on God's ability to have my back, and to be preparing a way for me in this. I'm trusting that God's on the other side of that, and regardless of what happens, there's purpose in it for me, that nothing in life is gonna be wasted.
And that's kind of her purpose. She says, I am not going to allow it to be wasted. She is so smart and talented and candid about everything. So we had a lot more to cover with Susan about giving yourself grace, about leaning into opportunity when you do so. So please be sure to check out our full extended interview. It's on our streaming platform, WKYC+. You can find it on your Roku or Fire TV as well.